She couldn't get out of her car because they were like crawling around all outside of her vehicle.
A Centennial apartment complex overrun with rodents.
That the rats have gotten into their cars and destroyed wiring and thousands of dollars in damage in their vehicle.
Rats chowing down on vehicles and causing thousands in damage. Fed up residents are reaching out to Contact Denver 7 to get answers.
I definitely can't afford to pay for thousands of dollars in damage in my car from the rats.
Coming together to remember those lost during the Columbine tragedy.
And I remember word coming out from the officers saying, kids are dying. It's a tragedy up in that room. And my heart just broke.
In the wake of recent mass shootings across the country, school resource officers gathering to learn how to protect our children.
We cause change, and nobody can do it alone. We all have to work together.
Another round of rain and muggy weather today, but check this out. Our Mile High camera captured this rainbow popping out earlier.
Very nice. Now the storms are dying down tonight and we have a shift in the weather on the way. Good evening. So glad you're with us on Denver 7 News at 10 tonight. I'm Shannon Ogden.
And I'm Jessica Porter. Well, rain today, but we're in for a heat wave this weekend.
Let's check in with our chief meteorologist, Mike Nelson, with your Denver 7 forecast. Mike?
Most of the storms dying down now along the I-25 corridor and over western Colorado. Still some scattered thunderstorms on the eastern plains. A flash flood warning in effect down in the Cheyenne Wells area, just to the south of the Burlington area. The storm is dying away. As far as Denver is concerned, we had a couple of good rainmakers. We actually had about a third of an inch of rain out at the airport today. But that's all died down. And this is what it looked like late this afternoon in time lapse. Storms moved off. The skies are clearing. With the clearing skies, it's drier air coming in. With the drier air comes a weekend heat wave. So the headlines going into the weekend. Isolated storms ending on the plains, clearing and mild statewide overnight. Hotter and drier on Friday, but then very hot for the weekend. I'll let you know which days will be triple-digit temperatures coming up in about 15 minutes.
Thank you, Mike. Some breaking news for you tonight. Former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe has been hospitalized after an apparent shooting. CNN reports Abe was rushed to the hospital after being shot during a speech in Nara, a city just outside of Osaka. There's no word yet on his condition. Abe served as Japan's prime minister from 2006 to 2007 and then again from 2012 to 2020.
Well, the body of a 41-year-old man from Gypsum, missing since July 4th, was recovered from the Colorado River this afternoon. The man was last seen struggling in the water Monday as he was trying to cross the Colorado. Now, this was 6 miles north of Dutsero, and his identity has not been released.
Another apparent drowning today at Lake Pueblo State Park's popular North Sailboard Beach. CPW received a call that a woman had gone missing from the shore. Her body was found just minutes later. The Pueblo County coroner will identify the remains, notify family, and determine cause of death, which the park manager says appears to be a tragic accident. If confirmed as a drowning, this would be the 23rd drowning in the state already this year. Some people at a Centennial apartment complex say they're not the only ones who've taken up residence there.
Contact Denver 7 has received complaints that rats are the newest neighbors. As Denver 7's CB Cottons reports, solutions to this problem are on the way.
Oh my God.
A video showing what appears to be rats scurrying around an apartment complex. Sophia Herrera says what she couldn't capture with her cell phone, her eyes will never forget.
So they're pretty large.
And they've caused plenty of hassle, according to Herrera.
One night my sister came home from work and she couldn't get out of her car because they were like crawling around all outside of her vehicle.
Herrera lives here at the Stratford Station apartment complex in Centennial, and she says she's taken multiple videos of the problem. Turns out she's not the only one looking for a solution.
The rats have gotten into their cars and destroyed wiring and thousands of dollars in damage in their vehicles.
Contact Denver 7 found at least 3 reviews for the apartment complex mentioned an issue with rats. And in late June, several tenants sent us this email sent out from the Stratford Station management team discussing the rodent issue.
I definitely can't afford to pay for thousands of dollars in damage in my car from the rats.
So Contact Denver 7 reached out to property management Graystar. In a statement, the company says the rodents are living underneath bushes that are off property. The company says they've been in contact with the city of Centennial, who hopes to, quote, expedite our neighbors' attention to the issue. Graystar also says they've increased visits from their pest control contractor.
Oh my God.
Herrera says she's happy the rodents are getting run out, but the problem has already sent her packing too.
I mean, I don't consider renewing my lease at all at this point because I don't want this to ever be an issue again.
For Contact Denver 7, I'm CB Cotton.
And if there's something you would like Contact Denver 7 to look into anytime, just call the number on your screen or email contact7@thedenverchannel.com.
One of the teenagers charged in the deadly arson at a Green Valley Ranch home now faces several drug charges. 18-year-old Kevin Bowie is accused of possessing and distributing fentanyl pills in jail. He was set to be arraigned today on arson charges related to the 2020 incident in which 5 members of the same family were killed. But that only lasted 5 minutes because of these new drug charges. Bowie's next court case for the arson charges will now happen later this month.
Well, we have an update tonight. A second arrest has been made in the January murder of a 5-year-old girl in Colorado Springs. Police say on January 13th, Emily Canales died due to blunt force trauma. After investigation, a search began for Emily's mother and her boyfriend. That mother, Brianne Escamillo, was taken into custody Wednesday. Escamillo's boyfriend, Matthew Urias, was arrested in June.
New questions are rising in the aftermath of the 4th of July parade massacre outside of Chicago, namely how the gunman was able to legally purchase 5 firearms with a history of mental instability. Now his father is denying the culpability in the attack. Authorities say criminal charges could be on the table for the gunman's father, who sponsored his son's application for a gun license before he turned 21, despite a prior suicide attempt and alleged threats to kill his family. He told ABC News he does not live with his son and claims he was not responsible for the purchase.
I filled out the consent form to allow my son to go through the process. They do background checks, whatever that entails.
The Lake County State's attorney says his father is not criminally liable for sponsoring his son's firearms card, but they are still looking through the evidence. Meanwhile, we're also learning more about one of the youngest injured victims, 8-year-old Cooper Roberts. His family says he is on a ventilator and sedated in critical condition. They fear if he survives the shot that damaged his spinal cord, he may be paralyzed for life.
School resource officers from all over the country are here in Denver this week to train on the best ways to keep our children safe.
Their week-long conference culminated tonight in a service at the Columbine Memorial to reflect on their mission to prevent more of these tragedies from happening. Denver 7's Rob Harris was there.
Cassie Bernal,
The names of the 13 victims of the Columbine High School shooting,
Corey DePuter,
read by their principal, who was in the building that day,
Daniel Mauser,
to a group of people who are dedicating their lives to preventing more lists of names in the future.
Here at the memorial, this is actually my second time here, and each time it's just as powerful.
This is Tony Raymaker, a school resource officer from Nebraska. He's one of nearly 1,500 who have come to the 2022 NASRO National School Safety Conference, where they've trained not only on how to best react and respond during moments of crisis, but also how to communicate with parents and the community during those crises, and how to identify threats before they arise.
The 13 that died here, all of the elementary school kids that died at Sandy Hook, we will not let them die in vain. We will train and train and train until this problem is done with.
There were many badges in the crowd, but not all in attendance were officers.
It's an honor, and it's really profound.
Michelle Gay has come to speak. She lost her daughter in the shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School.
I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. There aren't words, honestly, to say, because each and every one of you does something every day to forward this shared mission of ours to keep our kids safe and sound.
At the end of the ceremony, Principal Frank DeAngelis has a request.
But what this group did for me today has inspired me to continue doing what we're doing, and I'm asking you to do the same because we are in this together. Thank you, God bless, and love to all.
For Denver 7, I'm Rob Harris.
Well, tomorrow, former White House counsel to President Trump, Pat Cipollone, will testify under oath to the January 6th House Select Committee. After lengthy negotiations and a subpoena, Cipollone has agreed to give videotaped, transcripted testimony behind closed doors. Cipollone repeatedly fought Trump's efforts to overturn the election. The committee is seeking to learn what Cipollone witnessed and what advice he gave in the weeks before and after the deadly insurrection, including the effort by Trump and his allies to overturn the 2020 vote. Well, today, Colorado Congressman Jason Crow spoke with CNN about Cipollone's testimony tomorrow. And Crow says the testimony of one of Trump's closest advisors could be pivotal in this investigation.
Donald Trump actually entrusted in Pat Cipollone the defense of the first impeachment trial. I know because I tried that case against Pat Cipollone and debated and went against him during that first impeachment trial. This is somebody that knows what the president was thinking, knows who he was talking to, what he was saying. It's going to be really important to get his information out into the public record.
Now, attorney-client privilege could limit the topics and details that Cipollone is able to discuss with the committee.
Former Wyoming Senator Alan Simpson received the Medal of Freedom today, our nation's highest civilian honor. The Denver native served as Wyoming Senator for 18 years. Simpson was in good company receiving that honor today. Among the other recipients, the late John McCain and Steve Jobs, as well as Olympic gymnast Simone Biles, who became the youngest person to ever receive the award.
The scattered storms will end tonight. The next thing to worry about, big-time heat.
For some Coloradans, making a living is a juggling act.
Surviving off the generosity of strangers, it's pretty cool.
We introduce you to one street performer bringing smiles and showmanship across the metro.
If I can make like a kid smile, it's a good day.
Stanley Cup champs today, maybe gone tomorrow.
The Avalanche's latest trade could mean the end of the line for some of your favorite players. We explain coming up in Denver 7 Sports.